You wouldn't move to a foreign country and try to learn the language without first learning the alphabet. I mean, you probably could. You could learn words first. You could learn sentences and phrases, and you could probably get by. But you'd never be fluent in that language. That's what the major scale is for music. There's a huge separation between people who understand major scales and how to apply them versus people who don't. If you're somebody who doesn't, or you've been resistant to it in the past, you're not alone. Let me break major scales down for you today and put it into terms that everyone can follow and understand. So it starts with the chromatic scale. The chromatic scale is truly the alphabet of music. There are 12 notes. That's it. Take a moment to let that sink in. There are only 12 notes. There are not 50 million notes on the guitar neck. There's 12 and they repeat, right? There's a low set of 12, and then there's a middle set of 12, and then there's a high set of 12. But there's only 12. What we want to take away from the chromatic scale, though, is the idea that every single one of these steps, if you just move from one note to the next, is called a half step. So C to C sharp or D flat is a half step. Another example would be from E to F. This one trips a lot of people up because there's no sharp in between there. There's no such thing as an E sharp. There's two occurrences of this. B to C would be another example where you're not moving to a sharp note, but you're still playing a half step. You just kind of have to remember those two. E goes right to F, B goes right to C. There's nothing in between them. So that's really what the chromatic scale is. It's just a bunch of half steps right next to each other. Now, moving forward into other types of scales, namely major scales, you're going to be using wider intervals. This is where whole steps come into play. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's just skipping over one note now. It's two half steps put together. Right here I have the example D to E. Another example of this would be E to F sharp. I'm going to go ahead and put the blank chromatic scale right here for you to look at when I ask this question. What's a whole step from B? C sharp. B to C is a half step, so B skips over C and goes to C sharp to make a whole step. There you go. There's the two kinds of intervals that you need to really build a major scale. And every major scale is built the exact same way. There is a formula to creating major scales, and here it is. You need to go whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So if we take a look at these steps over top of our chromatic scale image that we were using a minute ago, we can form what is the C major scale. The correct notes in this are C, whole step to D, whole step to E, half step to F, whole step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, and one more final half step brings you back to the next octave of C. And this works for every single scale. What this pattern does is it gives you 12 completely unique major scales. Here's A major. A, whole step to B, whole step to C sharp, half step to D, whole step to E, whole step to F sharp, whole step to G sharp, and half step to A. You want to make the G flat major scale, right? G flat. Look at your chromatic scale, or eventually think through your chromatic scale and use this pattern. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. I tell all my students, you just need two pieces of information to memorize. One, you need to memorize the chromatic scale, all 12 notes. Two, you need to memorize the pattern that creates a major scale. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. If you can remember those two things, then you have all the necessary ingredients to make a major scale whenever you need one. And that's been foundational for me. I mean, it really allowed me to learn multiple instruments, and it was like speaking a new language. It truly was. Leave a comment if this helped you. Let me know if you have any questions. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.